Oh, come on. Not again. Hello, I'm LegoBro, and this series is about checking out some of the Minecraft community's custom maps. Today we're looking at Ruby Caverns by Dieuwt. As always, the download link is down in the description. Dieuwt describes this map as a randomly generated roguelite dungeon crawler where the goal is to defeat many enemies, bosses, and traps to reach the emerald medal. Let's start by looking at the building. Now I thought the buildings in this map are fairly solid. Everything is underground, which makes building easier. And I appreciated how rooms with certain items and crafting stations had the same appearance, so you can see them from afar. I also like the use of ruby ore incorporated into the builds. The boss rooms were a little simplistic, but definitely did the job and had just enough detail to not be boring. So to review, the builds were underground. I liked the ruby incorporation. The rooms were recognizable, but the boss rooms suffered a little bit. Score, 7 out of 10. Next, let's look at the uniqueness of the map. It can be hard to create a unique experience when imitating a genre of games, but this map had features that stood out as unique. One such idea was the crafting stations. I think that they really spiced up the experience by giving you an additional resource to look out for. However, the ones felt a little lackluster and didn't seem very interesting or useful. I did like the unlockable characters, especially since they gave additional aid and made the journey a tad easier the more you played. So to review, the crafting stations were nice, the wands weren't all that great, and I liked the unlockable characters. Score, 6 out of 10. Next, let's look how fun this map was. And it was a hard map to review in terms of fun. Some runs were lame, some runs were great. At that point, I would be judging the genre of maps rather than the map itself though. So what things made this map fun? Well, I thought the classes were fun, although I mostly played the warrior, since I'm not very good at the game. I liked the tight combat, which disallowed running in circles for the most part. I also liked the rarity of resources. However, I did not like the very unbalanced crafting station selection. For example, I had several runs without the smithing table, which makes armor, and then one run where it showed up many times. I would understand one run where it is rare, but not that many. Also, some of the items seemed pointless. For example, the throwing bricks and axes didn't really do enough damage to be useful to me. And I could never use the scrolls because there wasn't a scroll station. I would use the throwing bricks and axes more if they gave enemies a debuff like slowness or weakness, and I would be fine if the scrolls spawned way less often. So to review, the combat was pretty tight, I liked the classes, and the rarity of resources was nice, but there's too many useless items that didn't help you very much. Score, 7 out of 10. Moving on to functions. Generating a dungeon is never easy, and I don't even know much about it, so seeing one that always works is pretty neat. The generation had its flaws, but it still worked. In general, everything functioned pretty well and looked good. Again, the wands and throwable items I felt could have done more. So to review, the dungeon generation was pretty well made. The other functionalities I thought were generally good, but the wands and throwable items I didn't care for so much. So score, 8 out of 10. Finally, looking at stability. There wasn't any game-breaking bugs in this map, which is always a good sign. I did run into a couple small bugs that were annoying, however. One was created when I accidentally shift-clicked my sword into a crafting box, and then it was lost. Also, I had an issue where I bottomed out on frames for a couple seconds every once in a while. And I think this might be related to player skulls, but I'm not too certain. So to review, there's few game-breaking bugs, but I did lose that weapon, and I had those frame drops every once in a while. So score, 8 out of 10. So that brings us to an overall score of 7 out of 10. I will probably return to playing this map in the future. Thanks to Dieuwt for making this map, and I hope the next version of this map fixes some of my major concerns. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.